What's up, guys? So I had to give a speech, a talk on fatherhood and why it's important. I learned a lot myself in this talk that I had to prepare for. And I thought I'd share a few points with you guys. Sometimes the teacher learns, maybe it's more for me, but I was very interested that fatherhood was much more important than I thought it was. I always kind of stereotype myself or fathers as, hey, go out, provide, income for your family, be a role model, disciplinarian. I learned it was a lot more than that. I read and studied a bunch of the statistics. You're less likely to drop out of school. You're less likely to get pregnant as a teenager. You're less likely to have a lot of these problems. You're less likely to go to prison. You're less likely to have a lot of these problems, identity crisis, and things in your life if you have a father figure in your life. I know the media portrays men as like, these dumb guys that are funny and kind of worthless, and there's the women's movement, and but what's interesting to me is that women are much more likely to succeed and excel if they have a good father. And I was like, how funny. You need one to help the other. Now there's exceptions to all these, stories. Generally speaking, the majority of us do better with a father. And it talked a lot about roughhousing, fathers roughhousing with their kids and how important that was, because there's so much going on while you're doing that. There's limits, there's surprise, there's pain, there's tickling, there's pretending, there's acting, and there's such a variety of things going on. And these surprises and attitudes, all that stuff going on when you're roughhousing with your kids, helps them in life, helps them in school. Kids are able to control their emotions better. I mean, when I roughhouse with my kids, one feels left out at some point, or one gets hurt, and that's not fair, and you're right there in the middle of the action with all these highs and lows going on. So when they get to school and in life, they're able to have more emotional control, physical control, right? They get mad and they want to hit, and they lose it. Hey, whoa, hey, Johnny, calm down, take a deep breath. You're right there to walk them through it. And all these lessons are very important. So anyway, I was surprised by that. I was really surprised by that, how important roughhousing is for your kids. And I know, if you're a single parent or a mom, hey, maybe spend a little extra time roughhousing with them or finding those role models. A lot of you guys know I do handwriting analysis, graphology, and in the letter I, the cursive letter I, the capital cursive letter I, represents both the mom and the dad. And if one of those is missing, I immediately know that there's an issue in the home. You got an issue with your dad, an issue with your mom, are your parents separated, divorced, never knew them, you have a stepdad? Like, those things are revealed in your handwriting. Subconsciously, you throw it out. But what's interesting is it represents your identity, it represents your self-esteem, and if one of those characters is missing, it's very notable. And then if you dig a little deeper, you'll realize, are your parents divorced, or do you have an issue with dad? Are your parents divorced? You got issue with mom. But it opens up a lot. So I thought that was very, very interesting, the self-worth. And if you don't have that, you're missing that in life. Your identity is incomplete. And you don't know it. You were raised without that, if that's your case. But anyway, very, very interesting. But a lot of times, I think as fathers, we don't get credit. And I always felt, hey, the mother's the most important role for the child. They need that. But even in the infant stage, the baby a lot of times feels that it needs to take care of mom. You give the baby to daddy, and he's like, hey, there's someone else that can take care of my needs. And then daddy takes care of mom, and he's like, oh, there's someone else to take care of mom. These simple lessons at childhood are important. And some of us miss out on that. I don't think it is okay, but our society's at a place, where things don't go the way that's planned, and take a little time to learn to be a good father, play with your kids. This was eye-opening for me, You know, a lot of times we get busy in life, and I'm like, hey kids, not right now, not right now, I'm busy. It reminded me of what's really important, how to help my children have those extra things in life. That an example. Oh, another benefit is kids' vocabulary and language are increased like tenfold by having a dad in the house. A lot of times the mom's working on pronunciation and like how to say it right. Dad walks in ignorant of the baby talk, and he's like, hey kid, I need you to, and we rattle off all these bigger words in our lectures or whatever it is, and it forces the child to increase their language by force. And so when they go to school, they excel in school a lot better because, yeah, I've heard that word before, you know. So their language is much more, it's magnified by quite a bit if there's a father at home that engages with the child. But what's interesting about that surprise study is the mom had very little to do teaching the child language. And I was like, what? They're there saying ABCs, doing all this hard work, and it's the father that takes the child to the next level in their language. I was surprised by that. And they're like, yeah, Mom, you didn't have a whole lot of impact on the kids' language skills. I'm sure there's a big impact there. So when they go to school and the teacher's throwing stuff at them, they're on top of it. Very, very important to have a father. And if you are a father, very, very important that you step it up. I'm as guilty as anyone. I got to step up my game in the home. Roughhouse with my kids, engage with my kids. Let them know that they're loved. What's the word I'm looking for? Let them know, acknowledge them. You know, they need that acknowledgement. That way they don't go looking for it elsewhere. Very, very interesting. A lot of kids get into trouble because they weren't acknowledged as kids. So they go out into the world seeking acknowledgement. Maybe that's why some of these, you know, teenage pregnancies are up higher. Maybe they weren't getting acknowledged at home, so they took it elsewhere. They're looking for that male figure. And anyway, I'm sure there's much more complicated issues involved in this. And I'm sure there's a lot of experts out there that can school me on this even better. But sometimes I feel the world rips on fathers, dads, men so much that I was like, you know, it was a breath of fresh air to hear how important we are. And I think that word needs to get out there, that we are important, more important than we realize, and that we offer great, great things in the home. This just reminds me that I need to be more active in the home. Anyway, step it up, men and women. Just be aware of how important we are.